What is up, my viewers? Spang here, bringing you a World of Tanks gameplay commentary. This is going to be a viewer-submitted replay from Bondar007 and his LTTB on mine's Standard Battle. I almost nailed the intro, but I had to mess it up at the end, of course, because, well, I'm the most professional commentator out there. I mean, obviously, right? The continuing running joke on my channel. Now, we can tell he is platooned up with WizAF, a tier 8 heavy tank, specifically the IS-3, and lo and behold, his scout matchmaking, and I mean, the IS-3 can get tier 10 battles, so it's not necessarily out of its depth here, but less than ideal. And wow, look at this thing move. I've actually never driven this. So Bondar didn't really want the LTTB, but then a few of his friends who had the T-54 lightweight said, hey man, it's actually not that bad, you should get it. And apparently he has been loving it. So he did comment on the gun, saying it's actually quite good. So 180 average damage, 170 penetration, very respectable. Then you have 180 damage, again, of course, and 216 penetration, so about the same level of penetration as an IS-6 when it comes to premium shells. But definitely doing a good job going down to the water, trying to scout the spot for his team, see if any enemy vehicles were crossing. Maybe he was hoping to light up an artillery piece, the only artillery piece on this map for the enemy team, the tier 8 German. And going up to the hill now, which is relatively uncontested, looking like ooh, we've got to adjust some things here in just a moment. Hold on. All right, there we go. It was my bad not noticing that the kind of tank information wasn't up to snuff. So surprising, the 1375 did manage to kill the FCM 50-ton. Kind of a misplay based on the part of that. Let's just call him a wallet warrior since he's driving a premium vehicle, and he is part of a wallet warrior platoon. I mean, T-34, Amex CDC, and a FCM 50-ton. I mean, and I don't really say that disparagingly. I own premium tanks. They're usually pretty solid, but you gotta more or less be a bit more cautious with them because they are more often than not lesser in their performance to their same tier equivalents. And honestly, losing to a 1375, a little bit shameful, but he might have gotten hit going up. I don't know the whole situation. Still, Bondar doing a good job trying to spot. That's why we saw him driving behind those bushes a little bit. Not too close because he did not want to risk getting hit. And right now, being very sneaky. This is a pro play right here, guys. Now, with the new motions physics, and I mean like the second iteration of motion physics, not the ones that they're talking about coming out with here relatively soon. Keep in mind, this is 9.9. You've been able to navigate the terrain a lot better rather than in the old days back when World of Tanks first came out, where you couldn't even go over, over cliffs. So, in fact, I have a game in 9.12 where I did something very similar to this in my M48 Patton and made it rain shells on some very fortunate heavy tanks that couldn't do anything to stop me because I was too high up and they didn't have a good enough gun elevation. But getting back on point, a good play here. He's doing a good job of spotting and providing relatively unexpected crossfire on the enemy team, which is exactly what happened when he was able to kill that enemy vehicle. Was that guy was just like, are you kidding me right now? I didn't know that was gonna happen. This IS-7 driving out right in front of him, getting lit on fire, taking the snapshot and missing. Not sure I agree with that snapshot. Looks like it really didn't have any sort of good chance of hitting. He's firing standard AP shells at this IS-7. I had to check because I was not expecting that and still continuing to do so. Apparently confident in his vehicle's ability to get through, lighting him on fire again. And the IS-7 will burn alive, or rather burn to death. And looking like a very solid lead for his team here, 10-3, and he's got 3 of those kills. His ally, on the other hand, the IS-3 WizAF, I'm not sure if that's not actually how to say his name. Maybe it's just WizAF, which would be Wiz as fuck, but that's internet lingo, obviously. Not quite sure. Still, Roomba's hanging out in the back, kind of expected, which is why he didn't really want to expose himself. It was trying to spot a little bit more sneaky with these bushes up here, and didn't quite drive out in the open because he knew those could have easily killed him if they had gone high roll or like been firing high explosive, or maybe just both shot him at the same time, coordinated their efforts. But it doesn't look like he has the 15 centimeter. It looks like he might have the 12.5 centimeter gun. And apologies, my family's dog is kind of losing his mind in the background. So if you hear a little bit of whining, don't worry. He's just being needy for attention and wants to get pet. But regardless, back to the match. I gotta say, Bondar's been playing this very well in the LTTB. Kind of surprised at its mobility. It's a bit more quick on the move and able to really get around the map more than I'd expect. I mean, sure, it's a light tank. It's in that scout tank role, hence how it got a tier 10 match. Some might say, oh, that was the IS-3. No, it's a tier 7 scout tank matchmaking. It's going to get tier 10. But the Roomba, pretty much the last remaining vehicle, will he get another shot for damage? Yes, he will. And he is about to die. So one thing Bondar also suggested was at the end of matches, well, I can just pause the game rather than be interrupted. So thank you very much, good sir. You are absolutely right, but it does require I have to be paying attention and actually notice when the match is going to have to end rather than being caught off guard. So keeps me a bit on my toes. Not necessarily a bad thing. I'm always striving to improve in my commentary skills, in my public speaking, and in my video performance. So thank you very much, and we're going to go straight to those post-game stats now. And here we go. Earning himself his first Mark of Excellence Mastery Badge Ace Tanker and a whole bunch of pins and ribbons. Pin it. I don't even know how I was going to try and combine that word, but my brain attempted to anyway. One thing we did not get to see this match, which he did mention in his email about this vehicle, is its surprisingly bouncy frontal armor, which is relatively well sloped, and it's at a 90 millimeter thickness, which is more than you would expect from a scout tank. So he's noted that he has ricocheted vehicles shooting at him like the Yog Tiger, like the Tortoise. Whoops, wrong screen. Gonna have to edit that out. And definitely not showcased in this match. I don't believe he sent me another match for 9.9, but it's definitely too late. Now maybe we'll see some in 9.13, 9.12. I don't know. I haven't looked that far ahead in that much detail, but earning himself quite a bit of damage here, along with his IS-7 ally. So he performed as well as a tier 10 when it came to damage, and more so when it came to kills, just really being, what did he actually kill here? So he got a kill on the 4502, which was on the island, the Borsig, which was on the hill, so he did, okay, we saw all those kills pretty clearly. It wasn't like any sort of mob, like, brawl sort of chaos. It was very clear when he got those. It's just, I'm not that attentive, I suppose. I'm just so much fire it out with my commentary that none of it sticks in my own mind. But regardless, a lot of good damage spread here, actually. His team sharing quite a bit. I mean, it's no huge drop-off. It's just very gradual until the T-44, who had a very poor match. In fact, I should be bringing you one of those T-44 games soon enough. I had one from 9.9, and it surprised me nonetheless, and hopefully it should surprise you. The T-62A being top performer, the IS-7's kind of doing, oh, talk about drop-off right there. That's sad to see, but we knew it was a relatively one-sided match, so can't say it's entirely unexpected. His ally not doing too bad for an IS-3 in a tier 10 battle, you know. I can't say he did poorly for himself. But the IS-7, how much? Okay, only a little damage blocked by armor. The Yog Tiger, none. So, yeah, doing quite a bit of sniping, actually, too. Possibly 2 shots there. Those would be low rolls or high explosive, I don't know. But still, let's go to this detailed report. 18 shots fired, 13 direct hits and penetrations, and we did a total of over 3,000 damage, with quite a bit of damage due to his assistance as well. So it is no wonder he got Mastery Badge Ace Tanker this match, and even on a map as small as mine's, definitely drove around quite a bit for a map, again, a map of this size. And it does pay off, quite literally, with a lot of credits and a lot of experience. That's not even ×2, that's just premium experience, would have just been under 1,500 standard. But he is working his way towards the T-54 lightweight. In fact, he sent me one of those replays. I think I may do that one next, but you all will see. And it really doesn't matter. So that's gonna about wrap it up for this video. And if you enjoyed this video, please consider hitting that like button. If you want to see more, subscribe. If you got something you want to share or suggest, comment section is for that. If you've got a replay you think I should do a commentary on, well, the description has instructions on how to submit, and again, with a lot of other more, less desired information, I suppose. But until next time, this has been Spang, and clearly I am just oh so professional.
MLG Dynamo!